Ndị ba ekene m unu. Anyị si ka konye chiri ya zelu. Anyị si n'ụbọchị nke taa dịrị anyị na mma na ihe adị ka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru otu akwa ya dịrịrị. Ise. Dị ka o si dị, anyị wetara unu matters arising concerning Biafran Prime Minister Maazị Simon Ekpa na Finland. Ebe ife ka anyị wetara unu n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-asị unu geenụ ntị ka unu nụ ya bụ nnukwu ozi eji maka ya wee bịa n'iru akwụkwọ. Ife nwanne anyị kwuru and if Biafran Siriate basta maka ya bụ ife. Put tension as Tinubu meets Finland government. Speak on Simon Ekpa's trial, possible extradition. Ya bụ ife ka anyị wetara n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. So ị ga-esi ya bụ ife ịkaba arụ tụsa ya bụ ozi ka ụmụnna anyị ndị ọzọ n'ebe dị iche iche wee ghọta ihe na-emenụ wee na-ama ka ya dị update of Biafran Prime Minister dị na Finland. All right, over to you.
The big question, have Finland betrayed Simon Ekpa? Have Finland sold Simon Ekpa to the Nigerian authorities? A very important question. Have Finland compromised Simon Ekpa, one of their own, because of political and economic gain? Recently, the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, Sana Selin, visited President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, the conversation that they had, everybody had to sit down and listen to that conversation. Nigerians and those that are supporting the Biafran agitation, everybody were interested in what transpired between the Finnish ambassador and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, look at what the Finnish ambassador said. She said that IPOB chieftain Simon Ekpa has been blocking bilateral relationship between Nigeria and Finland. Simon Ekpa has become a stumbling block to the cordial relation between Nigeria and Finland. That is what the Finnish ambassador told Tinubu. Now, let me quote her. Simon Ekpa has been hindering bilateral relations. The cooperation between our two countries is going very well now. So since they arrested Simon Ekpa, the cooperation between the two countries is going on very well now. And the National Security Advisor has been providing all the evidence to nail Simon Ekpa. Remember, May is the date. Evidence to this convention is very important because there are speculations. People have been speculating. People have been saying a lot of things. Can Simon Ekpa be extradited from Finland to Nigeria? Most commentators say it is not possible that at the moment Finland does not have an existing bilateral relationship with Nigeria. But what I'm seeing here, it seems that there is going to be a bilateral relation, that Simon Ekpa has been blocking the road for that cordial relationship between Nigeria and Finland. Now he's been arrested, he's out of the way. So there's likely going to be a bilateral relationship between Nigeria and Finland. So why did the woman, the Finnish ambassador, visit President Tinubu if not for that cordial relationship? There was a document put out by Ngozi Oruaguzi that Finland and Norway is planning to compromise Simon Ekpa and Ayuba Cho. Ayuba Cho is an Amazonian agitator in Cameroon. He's in Norway. So when I saw that document, I suspected that something fishy is going on between Nigeria and Finland. Now this one has confirmed what I just said earlier, that Finland is on the process to extradite Simon Ekpa to Nigeria. Look at the accusation that Simon Ekpa has been blocking bilateral relationship between Nigeria and Finland. For them to say this, it's a lot. It's a lot. People don't just, ambassadors of different countries don't just come and visit the president like that and just say anything. They came and they discussed about Simon Ekpa. Tells you that a lot of things have gone under. A lot of water have passed under the bridge. A lot of things, agreement have gone under. That is what this means. Now, what is the response of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? But before I look at the response, she made another statement that the National Security Advisor have been sending evidence. That means, as I said earlier, that the arrest of Simon Ekpa in Finland, Nigeria is instrumental to that arrest. And since the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs have been appointed, we saw changes in this issue with Samuel Ekpa, that is Bianco Juku. I don't know whether whatever she's doing is related to what is happening to Samuel Ekpa today. I don't know, but you see, in journalism you can speculate. I'm speculating. Since they appointed her as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, things have been going wrong with the autopilots, Bergie and Samuel Ekpa IPOB faction of Biafra Agitation. Things have not been going well for that young man, Samuel Ekpa. Now, Tinubu says, Mr. Tinubu also commended the Finnish government for arresting and trying Mr. Ekpa, saying his administration will not tolerate divisive rhetoric. I must thank you for your record of safeguarding human rights in our country with the trial of Samuel Ekpa. Nigeria is indivisible. Look at the statement. Nigeria is indivisible. We'll come back to that later. We have been through turbulent times and we don't want to promote terrorism. Mr. Tinubu says, I'm a child born into activism, but not divisiveness. We need cohesion and cooperation to bring about development. Our watchword is stability and cohesion to move the country forward. That's the statement of a typical politician. You see, they don't look at Nigeria as a country that will have to divide. No politician of that level, when they get to that level of presidency or senator, that's why I see Hope Uzodinma and all of them, because they are having portfolio in this current administration. They have all the accolades. You see, one thing about black man is that black man does not really take his destiny in his hands. Whatever he's doing is shako. They are just shakoing up and down. Tinubu said some time ago that I don't believe in one Nigeria. That is according to the report, newspaper report. I don't believe in one Nigeria. But now, look at what he's saying now, that Nigeria is indivisible as reported. So, looking at all this, somebody that has psychology will understand one thing, and that thing is that these guys are planning to bring Samuel Ekpa back to Nigeria. That is just it. They are planning to bring Samuel Ekpa back to Nigeria. And you see, when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, there was cold here. Everywhere in the southeast was so cold. Nnamdi Kanu had widespread support from many people. Widespread support. Although he had his challenges, but he had widespread support. Samuel Ekpa does not have that support Nnamdi Kanu has. But what is happening with the Biafran agitation and how many people have made noise about Biafran agitation, if they bring Samuel Ekpa back, even the people that hate Samuel Ekpa in the southeast, people that do not support his autopilot movement, don't want Samuel Ekpa to be extradited back into Nigeria, because it will tell a lot on the Biafran agitation. They hold Nnamdi Kanu, they can't hold Samuel Ekpa. Some people are making jests. Some people from the southwest are making jests and the north of Nnamdi Kanu and Samuel Ekpa. They say since Monday sit at home is for Nnamdi Kanu, then Tuesday sit at home will be for Samuel Ekpa. We forget that, see, when people start agitating for freedom, this is how it always look like. If you start fighting for the truth in Nigeria, you will be called a terrorist. Normal, you are terrorizing the system that is not working. You are terrorizing an already existing system that does not favor the people but the elite. You are terrorizing Nigeria that has become an estate of some politicians and some power brokers and some powers that be. You are terrorizing that estate because people are milking and gaining. People have turned Nigeria to their investments. That's why when those people come out, they'll tell you that Nigeria is indivisible, especially from the Fulani side. The division of Nigeria is non-negotiable. That is what they use. The division of Nigeria is non-negotiable because they have turned Nigeria to their estate. They love the status quo, the way things are going. They will try and say we are reforming, we are reforming, we are reforming. Instead, they are plunging Nigeria into abyss of debt. Tinubu has doubled, almost 140-something trillion naira we are owing. From 70-something trillion naira, he met it. With the removal of subsidy, with the removal of subsidy on electricity. With all that we have done, tighten the economy to make sure more money gets into the hand of the federal government, but yet the money is not enough that they had to borrow within 2 years. Nobody has borrowed what nobody has borrowed. So the people that benefit from this estate will tell you that Nigeria is indivisible, because the people that are getting dividends of democracy are the politicians. I told somebody, the politicians are the one that have this definition of democracy. Democracy is a government of the people, by the people, from the people, and for the people. Who are the people? You and I, we are not the people in this Nigerian contest. The people are the politicians, the upper class. So when an upper class is opening his mouth to say what they want to say, Nigeria is indivisible, is because of the status they find themselves. Some time ago, Tinubu says he doesn't believe in one Nigeria, but what happened now? Now, bringing Simon Ekpa into Nigeria will not solve the insecurity we have in the country today. The government refused to learn that arresting Simon Ekpa or bringing Simon Ekpa, or even go to arrest Orabese that took over from Simon Ekpa, or I don't know which faction is now being supported, Orabese, bringing Orabese and join Simon Ekpa with Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria would not stop Biafra agitation. So far that there's injustice on the southeasterners. Look at Boko Haram, look at the north. With all the military might and everything we have under Tinubu, 2 new groups have arisen. Now Lakurawa has been designated a terrorist group now by a court of law. Akadi, or whether that one that is in Kaduna State. With all the military might, with all the operation this, operation Hadinzai, operation this and that, they have not been able to stop the banditry and the terrorism in the north. It tells you a lot that when it comes to an ideology, you tackle an ideology differently. And Nigeria is not ready to do justice to the southeastern, to an Igbo man. Nigeria is not ready. Nigeria is not ready to do justice to an Igbo man. So bringing in Simon Ekpa, me, I'm not faced. See, when they arrested Nnamdi Kanu, I felt so bad. Two incidents that made me feel so bad. When number one, when Nnamdi Kanu was announced to have been arrested and by the Nigerian authorities and he's in their custody, I could not sleep that night. I could not sleep that night. The more reasons why we are asking DOS. Nnamdi Kanu was not in action for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, and you could not update people on the whereabouts of Nnamdi Kanu. You kept quiet. That means you must be complicit. For 8 days, Nnamdi Kanu went missing, and the DOS, those people that were working with him, they could not tell us this is the location he went to. They kept mum. The same way Simon Ekpa was arrested, some people now came to tell us that no, he wasn't arrested. From Simon Ekpa's camp, Simon Ekpa is somewhere sitting down, is resting for now. So they are trying to manage the situation just by telling us information that is not true. So the second is when Tinubu was announced president. I felt bad. You know why? If you look at generally, look around you, when they announced Tinubu president was their celebration. So that these are the only two things. So if Simon Ekpa is extradited back to Nigeria, I know some people who support Simon Ekpa many people want to, if I'm exaggerating, maybe want to commit suicide if they hear that Simon Ekpa is in Nigeria. The anticipation, he promised Biafra on the 2nd of December, the anticipation and everything, the assurance he has given so many people. So it is very hard to convince a southeasterner, an Igbo man. But when you come with Biafra, you can convince, they can believe you, even though you are going to defraud them, because their consciousness about Biafra, they are desperate to get Biafra, desperate. Forget Hope Uzodinma, forget all these ones that you see, Umahi, that they are doing this because they need to play the politics of becoming Nigeria governor, minister, or president. They need to play that politics. All these guys support Biafra low key. Let me tell you, an average Igbo man wants Biafra. So anybody that comes that say I will give you Biafra, even if that person does not have the capacity, or that person is just blabbing, he will believe him, because this Biafra thing is so much alive in an average Igbo man. So bringing in Simon Ekpa, what the government needs to do is to address the root cause of why people are agitating in the first place. There was a condition Nnamdi Kanu gave the governors a long time ago. Instead of them to look at the condition and find ways around it, they went and created the Buagu to counter ESN. After the meeting, they went and created the Buagu to counter ESN. The response is, we cannot implement these things you are telling us to implement for the Southeast region. We are not ready to bring justice, fairness and equity to the Southeasterners, to an Igbo man in Nigeria. We are not ready. That is the body language. Bring Samanekpa today, other people will rise in other dimension, like it's happening. Kill Belotuju today, another Belotuju will rise. You know how many times they killed that Boko Haram leader at that time? They killed him many times. Boko Haram is still ISWAP, all of them. They are carrying out havocs in the different communities. If you don't address the root cause of what is this happening with Biafra agitation, you cannot go anywhere with it. I'm telling you. But just know that Biafra will come to pass. It's a prophecy that must be fulfilled. See, I don't know about you. Nigeria needs to restructure. Regionalism is very, very good for the growth of Nigeria. If you have Biafra or Duduwa Arewa, it's going to be very good. That's what I'm looking at. With the current system, the government, the dividends of democracy will be only for the top, and millions of Nigerians will not get it as it were. Now, what is the government? Since the advent of democracy, what has the government contributed to the lives of people? The little one that is subsidy, that they have been manipulating, eating money, stealing on the money with subsidy, they now remove it. Nigerians are now plunged into hardship. Another one is tax bill. Now, tariff 50% on telecommunication. Bank transaction above 10,000, you see 15 naira. Transfer and receive. Tax left, right, and center. Electricity subsidy is not there anymore. You pay higher for electricity. The 70,000 naira minimum wage, we don't know where the implementation is through, because people are saying that they have not implemented it. Now, the CNG that is going to run and everything, that is going to cushion the effect of hardship on transportation and moving from one place to another, where is it? Where is it? There's even injustice on the people than even injustice on Biafran, on the Southeasterners. If the government cannot address, because this government does not have this anointing, the grace to fix Nigeria in terms of equality, fairness, and equity. They don't have. It is not in their destiny. What this APC government wants to come and do is to show off and do what they can do, and they pass the baton to the next person. However, we recycle, or the other party muzzle the power to take them out. People are not getting dividends on housing, dividends on health, dividends on education, dividends on soft loans to start businesses. Nothing. Nigeria, a country rich in mineral and natural resources. Some governors will be building airports to steal resources. This is the country we find ourselves, and you are expecting people not to go into activism. I told you, Samanekpa and Nnamdi Kanu, they were fighting for one Nigeria before, and they got to a point they saw that this thing cannot work. Tinubu is doing reforms, Dabi. After 8 years, I've said it before, one Fulani person from one Futajalon island will come become president and reverse all he is going to say, and we go back to square one. There has never been a better tomorrow in Nigeria. I don't know why. There have never been a better. Anything you say better, you see small thing now, you say share rice. Rice, is it going to cushion the hunger? The rice you are sharing that might not even get to the destination. Is it going to cushion? What is the government doing to warrant to say that Nigeria is indivisible? Are they doing what they need to do to stop agitations? No. If there was equity, fairness, and whatever, I don't think you'll be having agitations or Biafra or whatever, or whoever, Lukarawa or whoever that is coming out to say one or two things, grievances or cause problem. If there's justice, fairness, and equity, we will not be where we are today. But because it is Nigeria. So the Finnish government has surprised Biafrans. The Finnish government surprised us, so believing that they cannot go against their code, no bilateral relationship. But you can see what the woman says. Samanekpa and the one, now they block the bilateral relationship now. Now he's out of the way. We can have good cooperation. That's why he's telling Tinubu Tinubu say yes, thank you for arresting Samuel Ekpa and bringing him to trial and justice. We will not tolerate anything. That statement is heavy statement too. And you know the Nigerian army, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces? So whatever the armed forces are saying, they say this man, the national security advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has been sending evidence upon evidence to nail this man. No, people were saying that no. They are calling Nigeria to come to court. Nigeria could not defend himself. Wow. This was shock also. Now I understand. Say politics is not emotional. Geopolitics. Countries that tell you that they have democracy, they can go against their own ethics. So look at the United States of America. Will be preaching fairness, equity, and justice to you. They are using other people's resources to build themselves. Is that fair? Is that a democracy? To tell you that, man, life is not fair. I've said it before that even though those that don't like Samuel Ekpa don't want Samuel Ekpa to be extradited, though, an average human does not want Samuel Ekpa to be extradited. But if he comes, nothing is going to stop a Biafra agitation. That is sure. It is not a negotiating thing. Nothing will stop Biafra agitation. If you like, let Finland try him and bring him back to Nigeria, and he's locked up in JSS custody, and they do all this kind of mago justice, blah blah blah. You go to this one, come, no, you know, amend the charges. You don't amend the charges. Everybody, oh yeah, go home tomorrow, next tomorrow. Before you know, now they cannot spend 4 years, 5 years for sale. The same thing, the same justice system. So Finland is not going to consider that the justice system fully have not delivered the rights of the people to them. The dividends of democracy, the justice system has not delivered it to the people, and we are seeing all these kind of things. Well, it's unfortunate if we hear that Samuel Ekpa has been brought back to Nigeria. Man, many will be so demoralized, and I hope it doesn't happen.
Ndị banyị kwadalo dị nne n'ume Igbo kunu si wene soro anyị n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uruchi nkịta dịka anyị na-ewetelu na ya bụ ozi gbasịta maka the update on Biafran Prime Minister n'iru akwụkwọ. Anyị chọrọ ịma ife unu che n'ụdị nke unu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile, all these points nwanne anyị nwoke list n'iru akwụkwọ and ife ọkọwagasị ka unu si ghọta ya n'ụdị nke unu. Anyị chọrọ ịma ife unu che n'ụdị nke unu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife. Drọpụrụ anyị ya your own comment on the comment section below. Ngwadalo dị nne na ụmụnne m ka emesịanụ ụmụ Igbo.